Alright folks, we've returned. Let's start chapter 2 of In the Line of Fire. Matthew, here we are in the wake of a horrible fire, and we have yet another murder on our hands, and this one of a well-respected fireman. Mr. Kidd may be called a hero by some, but there is someone out there who thought otherwise. Matthew, have you heard? The police commissioner's on a muckraking tour. He is giving a speech at this very moment. He wants to hunt down the victim's killer, dead or alive. Why would Commissioner Baldwin be so interested in our victim and his killer? I cannot be certain, but you had better tread carefully, Matthew. Commissioner Baldwin is the head of the police and a very influential man. Thanks to his patronage, the flying squad was established, with yours truly at the helm. You must be on your best behavior. Your career may depend on it. Understood, sir. Matthew, let us see what the commissioner's speech is all about. The good citizens of Concordia, I hereby swear to stamp out the plague that is crime in our fine city, and I won't let this latest murder go unpunished. Mr. Kidd was a man of honor and valor who did not deserve to meet his end in such a cowardly fashion. No stone will be left unturned as I tirelessly hunt for the criminal who committed this heinous act and bring them to justice, alive or dead. Well, that was a passionate speech, Matthew, and now that Commissioner Baldwin is finished, we can have a word with... Sorry, another situation. Can I have a word with them? Where my tablet ran out of... was low on battery again. Let's question Commissioner Baldwin now. Commissioner Baldwin, may we have a moment? Absolutely, but before we start, let me take one of these drops. Grandstanding does cause the jaw to throb. So, Marshal Matthew, Detective O'Malley, to what do I owe the pleasure? We just heard your speech and we're curious as to why such acrimony over this particular crime. Mr. Kidd was a hero. He fought bravely to keep the city safe from fire. More importantly, Mr. Kidd was engaged to my daughter. Oh, we were not aware of this news. Perhaps you could have a word with your daughter? Absolutely not. Adelia is devastated and will not be disturbed at this time. Let her be. And now I must go. The police photographer has arrived and we are to begin our search. Good day. Matthew, Commissioner Baldwin was adamant about not disturbing his daughter, but she is a potential suspect. We must have the opportunity to interview her. I agree. We must go to the Commissioner's home. Perhaps his daughter will be there. At the very least, we can have a look-see.
He was taken to the hospital. Also on Hawaii Island, the mother of Peter Boy Kemba is manslaughter in connection with the death.
As you can see, I haven't gotten all the stars yet, but eventually I will.
According to Hawaii County Prosecutor Mitch Roth, the change in plea is proof that Peter Boy is dead. It also means that his mother, Jalen Kemba, will have to testify in her husband's murder trial. That case expected to be pushed to April. According to prosecutors, Peter Boy's mother accepted a plea deal. In return, prosecutors will recommend a 1-year jail sentence for her. Peter Kemba Sr. have been suspects in the case since 1997. Both have been spending time in jail separately since being arrested, and both initially pleaded guilty to the charges.
Locked diary.
Now expected to await her sentencing until
victim's coat.
Against her husband.
Wheelbarrow, mailbox, and teapot. Fourth.
Hawaii County Prosecutor Mitch Roth also adding that indictments in other unsolved murder cases could be coming in the future months.
Prosecutors made their final rebuttal in the Stephen Capobianco murder trial.
No one answered the door, so the garden is as good a place as any to start. And it looks like you found a clue, Matthew. That ornate diary looks to be Adelia's. We shall unlock it and see. And this is a fireman's coat. And knowing that Mr. Kidd was Miss Baldwin's fiancé, this coat must be his. A thorough search of the pockets is in order.
Otis,
I'm ready to play.
Taking a look at whether or not it's
Matthew, that paper you found in our victim's coat pocket has a message on it. Otis, I'm ready to play. Unfortunately, no one signed it. What is lacking in signature is made up for by this cipher on it. We must decipher that code.
Very cloudy with heavy showers for Hilo, as you can see in this time-lapse video of Hilo Bay, courtesy of the Hilo Tsunami Museum. A gray start to the day with heavy rain, as we mentioned, thanks to an unstable atmosphere. The unstable atmosphere also helps
2, 6, 5,
over parts of Maui County, and with that instability
6,
over the state,
5.
there still is the threat of more heavy rain for tonight and into tomorrow.
5, 8, 6, 2, 5. And the last one, 9, 8, 6, 2, oh no, son of a gun, 9, 8, 5, 2, 6. There we are.
As I mentioned, winds on their way down for tomorrow. Lighter winds backing off to 10 also turning more.
This can be pretty tedious. Fine work, Matthew. You revealed a set of numbers from that cipher addressed to our victim. And as our resident numbers expert is Evie, we should get these numbers to her at once.
A big day for the wave surfers. The opening ceremony going on for the Quicksilver in memory of Eddie Aikau.
12 hours.
International. Brandy Higa standing by live at Waimea Bay. And this was the event that almost
And the locked diary.
Hey, Paula, that's right. Still going on. And I'm going to take a step out because 3 surfers, final 3 invitees that were into the water where they grabbed hands, they pulled it, threw a leg into the water, and honored this
9Y4,
they're just getting out of the
XO,
water. They played drums, and the media slowed them down so they were
oh no, B7Z. Matthew, are those tickets for a transatlantic voyage to Paris on the gigantic in Adelia's diary? And you're right, those tickets were purchased by our victim. And they were first-class tickets. How could a fireman afford first class? As they were inside Miss Baldwin's diary, we can assume this voyage was for her and Mr. Kidd. That's it. There's no way we're not going to talk to Miss Baldwin no matter what the commissioner says.
Keep the tradition alive. This is the 32nd year. It's pretty fantastic.
About the gigantic tickets?
see the surfer stand in front of you like we just did. Does that ever get old?
We are very sorry for your loss, Miss Baldwin. It must be tragic to hear of your fiancé's sudden passing. Well, I do have a bit of the morbs. I was expecting more tears, but good on you for being strong. In order for us to catch his killer, we need to know more about Otis. Can you tell us about the 2 first-class tickets for the gigantic that he purchased? He just surprised me with those. We've been planning on eloping and then moving to Paris to start a new life together. I just love Paris. But how could Otis afford such a lavish expense on a fireman's salary? Otis didn't come from wealth, but he was working his way up the ranks, whatever he could do to make more money for our future together. But now he's gone, Marshal Matthew. My future in Paris is ruined. We dare say, Miss Baldwin, that's not the worst problem right now. Matthew, after what her father has told us, I expected Adelia to be more shaken by her fiancé's death. We'll need to keep an eye on her. Being the commissioner's daughter does not exclude her from our list of suspects.
Police have charged a woman in connection with a purse snatching in Lanikai.
And I'll see you guys when the numbers are done. Alright folks, we've returned. Let's get the results of the numbers from Evie. Oh, hello Matthew. I didn't see you come in. I apologize for the clutter. That's alright, Evie. I think Matthew will become acquainted with your methods soon enough. Right then. About the numbers you found on that note to your victim, they are coordinates. Coordinates? As in points on a map? Yes. Understanding cartography, one can ascertain one's precise position on a map by finding their latitudinal and longitudinal locations. When reading a location given in such a format, the first set of numbers is the latitude, and the second is the longitude. I'm familiar with maps, so I took the initiative to look up this so-called address. These coordinates lead directly to the New Haven Police Precinct. So someone at the precinct must have known our victim well. Matthew, we must go there at once. gambling photo. Oh, broken clock. Three clues in here. Cool. Matthew, this revolver is an Ivory Johnson. It's exactly the weapon Dick said we should be looking out for. And considering the fact that this gun is on our crime scene, I'd say you've just found our murder weapon, Matthew. Let us get a sample of the strange stain on the handle. As for this clock, if you think it's of interest to our investigation, we had better fix it up. And what about that photo of men playing dice? My word, that man there is our victim. Indeed, Matthew, we know our killer plays dice, so we must find out who is the other man in this photo. Perhaps the ring he's wearing could help. It looks unique, and jewelers keep records of such things. Madame Zhang. Matthew, what would Madame Zhang's clock be doing at the police station? I say it's about time we had another conversation with Madame Zhang. Oh well. About her clock. Madame Zhang, we found your clock in the police station. Care to tell us why it was there? If you must know, I gave that clock to Mr. Kidd. It was a curse meant to say his days were counted. Mr. Kidd was a regular customer at my brothel. He would drink, play craps, and be wild with my girls all night long. I lost a lot of money during those craps games. I thought Mr. Kidd was happily engaged, not the sort to be gallivanting about at this type of establishment. Ha! Mr. Kidd was no gentleman. He would get very drunk and rowdy. Once he even knocked me in the mouth. Now I must take these drops to calm the pain. Is that why we found your clock on the crime scene then? You wanted to make sure your curse would be effective as soon as possible? I didn't kill him, but I'm pleased my curse worked. There we are. Oh, darn it. Edward Wimple's ring? My word, Matthew. The jeweler's database revealed that the ring on our mysterious man in the photo belongs to Officer Wimple. He told us he barely knew Mr. Kidd, and here he is shooting dice with the man. Officer Wimple lied to us. Matthew, we have no choice but to go interrogate Officer Wimple once more. About playing dice with the victim? Officer Wimple, we found a photo of you and the victim playing craps. Why did you lie about your relationship with him? Heavens, I was hoping that wouldn't get out. It's all rather embarrassing. Mr. Kidd held craps games on his time off. He asked me to play once and I made a good amount of money. More than I make here, if I may say. So I kept playing. It's perfectly normal to have hobbies, Officer Wimple. Why cover it up? A man like myself should not have been cavorting with the likes of a person like Mr. Kidd. He was crooked, that one. Because of him, the higher-ups have me on their watch. I should have never gotten involved with him. There we are. Oh, and I just got the 9 in time. Matthew, now that we have a sample of that white substance from the murder weapon, we can get it to Viola for further analysis. "6 hours. Get the results after my work. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then." Alright folks, we've returned. Let's get the results of the white substance. Matthew, isn't it fascinating to live in such a time of industrial advancements? Between Charlie's inventions and the motorized carriage, it's only time before we send someone to the moon. Viola, I do appreciate your imagination. Why the sudden zeal for progress? The sample Matthew took from the murder weapon inspired me. You see, the sample was out of a combination of carnauba wax, beeswax, and linseed oil, all of which make up the compound for automobile wax. Automobile wax, you say? I do like to polish my Madmobile. Well, so does the killer. They must have first polished their car and then transferred some of the wax onto the murder weapon. Which means the killer drives an automobile, and that should limit our search substantially. Not many people have automobiles around here.
Experience today's ABC store, putting the wow back into shopping. Check out the latest trends and the best selection of Hawaiian apparel and gifts.
Matthew, I cannot believe someone started this fire on purpose. Unfortunately, we won't be able to investigate that arsonist until we've put Otis Kidd's killer behind bars. We discovered that our victim was not the hero most would have us believe. I'm not surprised to find out that he had quite a few enemies. Both Madame Zhang and Officer Wimple have painted a picture of a man who cheats, gambles, and drinks. Mr. Kidd did not seem to be fit for the fiancée of a police commissioner's daughter. However, she didn't seem to be aware of Mr. Kidd's rather dubious hobbies. Matthew, I'm realizing that where there's smoke, there's fire, and we'll find much more of the flames that fanned Mr. Kidd's death. Matthew, we have a situation. What is it, Evie? Someone has broken into the commissioner's home, and I think it's one of your suspects.
That's just one of the events that commemorate the 75th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor.
We'll have to find out who that is in Chapter 3. See y'all then.